I'm live on the air. Morning Garden Show. Hello, everybody. How you doing this morning Garden Show? How you doing? Everything all right? I hope everything is. Oh my goodness! Listen. Um, Gardening is still going on everywhere, anywhere. I'm running into people walking up to me telling me I started my garden. I got my garden. Well, I need some advice on this, and I said, okay, I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do, and it is a wonderful thing. Ergo, or Virgo, we're doing good. Um, Thank you very much. I see Creek Walker, Walker. I think that's what that is there. Hey, buddy. Hey, how you doing? Hey, all right. As you know, this is the Morning Garden Show. In case there's anyone out there that didn't know, I'm going to talk a little bit about gardening today because I'm excited. Today, I could have did something in the garden. I didn't. I put it off. I went out there and checked some of the items. Grapevines are doing good. I'm thinking about moving, doing all right. Yeah, good. I'm glad to hear that. Um, Glad to hear that everybody's doing all right there. Really, it is. It is. I'm thinking about one thing, and that is getting my garden up and running. But I don't want to make any false moves right now because the weather keeps doing this. That's what it keeps doing. So I'm going to be on point when I put everything out. I have some corn plants out there. They're surviving. They're doing well. I'm going ahead and add the rest of them out there because if they can survive, so can the other ones. And so I'm going to get up to about, uh, I don't know, 40, maybe 50 plants. Put those in, and I've already fed them, and I got a really good regiment of fertilizing, and that's going to be a big part of everyone's deal when you start growing your garden. Make certain that when you do your garden, that you're fertilizing properly. Hello, how you doing there? All right, Nature Nine and family. Hello, how you doing? I did greetings, morning gardener, and everyone in the chat. He says in the chat. I saw your light system, and I looked at it. I did. I said, well, more power to the brother there. I saw it, and um, I don't know, but to each his own. And lights are a good thing to have if they do what you want them to do. My theory is save every dime you can and make sure you get a big, huge return on everything that you grow. And so that's going to be a good deal for you. I think it's good that you got what because the more confident you are about your garden, the better you're going to do. And so I did. Oh, you should have saw what I did. I got to tell you something. Um, I was short on plants. Excuse me. I was short on flowers that I'm going to put in my yard, and I went ahead and put some in a pan about that thick, and no dividers in it, nothing. Just poured it in there, poured the seeds in the first section, second and third section, and did the way that I do my not planting them down in the soil. I did that again, and everything, boom, 3 days later was out of the ground. And I have too many lights going. Yeah, that could happen. Everything I'm going right now. Broke Farmer 76 has entered the building, ladies and gentlemen. He's entered the building. Down to earth gentleman. I've seen the show. Once I found out, what he does, I went ahead and subscribed to him, and so that tells me you got some good. I don't see. I'm gonna be honest. I don't see a lot of people that look like me out here doing the gardening thing. I just don't. I do see more now than I once did before, but it's a positive thing that more people are getting into gardening. But I would like for them to just kind of change their focus a little bit. Don't look at it as just this is just a fun thing to do. Let's just go ahead and have a little fun and grow some plants. No, think of it as what would you do if there was no grocery stores out there to get your produce from or your fruit from? What would you do? How would you change anything about your garden that would allow you to supply enough food for yourself or your family? Could you do it? Do you have the skill level? Do you have Um, do you have the resources? Because I got to be honest with you. When I put the oh, hello, how you doing? Hello, everybody jumping in the room today. This show is becoming more and more and more popular. And that's because good people been coming into the room. That's all it is. Good, solid country folks are coming in the building. They just, their families were either from the country or they from the country, and they like growing food because that's what their background is. Um, my father was a farmer. Father was a farmer. And a lot of what he taught me early on really helps me on today. And I think it's one of the main reasons why I'm so addicted to gardening. But back to what I was saying, I planted these kale and collard plants. Took them a while to get started. I got them started. The whole point is I got them started. Once I got them started, they were doing beautifully. They were doing good. Hello, hello. How you doing, Mr. Miller? Hello. And what took place was I hurt my knee. I'm going to stop talking about this eventually. I hurt my knee, and when I did, I was wiped out for the whole growing season. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I couldn't get up, go to the restroom. I couldn't fix food. Someone else had to take care of me. Okay, so when that took place, my yard didn't have a standstill. It kept growing. Everything kept growing. And the way I improved my soil in the locations where I do my garden, there was plenty of nutrients to make everything grow. My trees were 25 feet tall, 20, and I looked at that and I said, oh my God, I would look out through my cameras and I would see my trees and I would see all these weeds and vines. They were all through the trees. They were through everything out there. And I was ticked off because there was nothing I could do. I couldn't go out. I couldn't pick the pears. The tree was loaded with pears. I couldn't go out and do anything with the corn. I couldn't do nothing with the tomatoes. And the weeds were 4 feet tall. They owned my yard. And then I looked at my grapevines in the back and I said, look at that. I can't see my grapevines. I can't see my one of my cherry trees. The vines and the weeds are completely engulfed the vines. So I think I lost one grapevine. I think I lost one. But smart move I did this time around, I already took cuttings from that vine and I stuck them in flower pots. And when I did that, I was able to retrieve the genetics because they go buy it now. The plant's probably $25 a piece. The grapevine, and I grew it back with a cutting. So I got a cutting out there that's growing strong. And I always like to take cuttings off my grapevines when it comes during the fall when it's time to get cuttings or time to police the vine and get it under control for next year, pruning in a sense. So I save the cuttings and I stick them in pots. And then I'm gonna start doing now is get smart about it. Start sticking them in pots and labeling the pots because sometimes I do a bad thing, and I do something I do. I will put them in pots and not label this stuff. So when I look, I said, "Is this the red grape, or is this the white grape, or is this the Thompson grape? Which one is it? I don't know." And I'll say, "Wait a minute. Oh, this is the one. This is that's the white grape." And see, I don't want to do that no more because there's so many different plants on my property growing. It's too much to chance to keep doing it that way. Another thing is my blackberries are on fire this year because I'm actually caring for them and taking care of them. They'll grow on their own, but imagine the size berries and imagine the number of berries you can get off of a blackberry plant if you just take care of them. You're going to increase the production, and you're going to do just a better job at growing what you need. The raspberries are doing good. They were fed early part of the year. I'm going to feed them again tomorrow. I got grapevines out there. I fed, did pretty good. They're jumping out the ground, acting crazy. Um, and then I got a what's that plant called? See what I mean? That's how many plants I have. It's come on now, come on now. It's a kiwi plant that it died back because it wasn't being cared for. The weeds took it over last year, and I wasn't going out there for nothing. It was so deep, folks. The back of my yard was so deep, you didn't even want to walk through there. You didn't want to walk through there because I mean, you just didn't. So believe me, I went back there and claimed that back. I got everything neat and cut back, and I'm gonna go raise some hell again because I got um, it costs money to run these machines when you got lawnmowers, you got weed trimmers, you got a lawn tractor. It costs money to run them things. I went out there and looked at some of the blades that they're using that you got to buy and redo these with. And Home Depot had some, and they were like $20 a blade. And I said I could buy them. I could do that. But I'm saying, wait a minute, why go buy a blade when you have a blade on there that all you got to do is sharpen it and put it back to work? And when you do that, you're all set. Why would you go buy a blade? So what happened was I bought a sharpener and a balancer. Some of you know what that is, but it helped me keep the blades a little longer. I got a lawn tractor out there. Lawn tractor has two blades on it, and they're about $20 a piece. It's 40, 40, 39, $40 a piece for a whole brand new set of blades. I said, no, don't do that. I don't want the cheap blades from Walmart because, made in China, stamped out, and then sometimes they don't use very good metals and they dull real quick and that sort of thing. So you want to get good blades so that they last a little longer. And when you put them on there, you can sharpen them. You might get about a few more years out of them because you sharpened them. And that being said, you put them back on and you got sharp blades. Nothing cuts quite like a very sharp blade. Now, my lawnmower I bought last year, and it's a Troy-Bilt $300 lawnmower, front wheel drive, beautiful machine. And that machine does a very good job. But the thing about it is, here's the thing about it. When you put the bag on the back of it, you can collect the grass clippings. That's why I bought it. You can collect the grass clippings and use those to mulch around your plants. Just mulch around your plants. And you save yourself water, fertilizer, and you keep your plants healthy because the soil stays nice and cool when you got them real scorching days, and you keep everything regulated, and you keep the weeds away from your producing plants like your tomato plants. You keep that 2 inches deep, and you keep it about 15 inches wide around your plant, and it will help you out immensely. And all you got to do is put your fertilizer down when it's time to fertilize, water them, and leave them, and check the soil every so often to make sure that the moisture is still there. I got to tell you, folks, it's a beautiful thing when you have your garden under control. And I got to tell you another thing is that I have spark plug I took out of the Troy-Bilt. It was halfway starting. That's what it was doing. Kind of stalling out, when you first start up in the morning and you push the the little bulb, and you push it 5 times, 6 times. And when you do that, it doesn't start right away. So something's going on. So I figured what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a carburetor cleaner in the carburetor. I'm also cleaning the spark plug because the spark plug did not look bad. It just looked like it had some carbon on it. So I put it in the ultrasonic cleaner. It's a device used to clean up tools and clean rust off of things, clean carbon deposits off of things. And, for $20, $25, buy one of them. They clean up your tools, they clean up your jewelry, they clean up a lot of different things around the house. They're worth the investment. So I use it to clean up spark plugs. Now, when the spark plugs start giving me serious issues where they're having issues, they have to go. They have to be thrown away because it's no good to you at that point. Another thing is they have it's a chainsaw that I bought called a Poland. Horrible chainsaw. For one thing, one of the main issues that the Poland has is that it always when you get it to a point, and see what I want to do, I want to cut my trees down and keep them at 6 feet. So I'm gonna be using chainsaw for that. Yes, folks, I'm gonna be using chainsaw. Go right across the top, cut everything down, keep it at 6 feet. Um, the Polar saw has a problem. Once it heats up and gets to a certain temperature, it's hard to start it again. It's hard to start it. The problem with it is when they put it together in the factory is the gap that's in the spark plug. So I went ahead and got my spark plug gapper out, and I set it at 30, and realized that when I set my spark plug at 30, so when metal expands and it closes the spark plug up and it doesn't spark very well, when you set it at 30, you got that gap. Even though it warms up, instead of it doing this, it might do this, and it's still, you can get a spark there. So 30 gap. Same thing goes for my weed trimmer. Same thing goes if I'm having issues with it's great for small engines. It's great for small engines. That 30 gap. That 30 gap is perfect. I take my Poland's chainsaw and blah, 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 first pull, and I like that. Instead of when you've been using it for a few minutes and then you go blah, 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 blah. Who wants to be doing that out there at 90-degree temperatures? Blah, blah. It's boring and it's difficult on you as well. So I just want to be able to get blah, 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 and get it running, and I can do what I got to do with it. So that's what I do, folks. That's what I do. I got to make things work, because a Poland is a good saw, a chainsaw, if you care for it, you keep the maintenance up on it, keep it clean. And my neighbor across the street, he's one stickler for all his tools. I mean, he takes his lawn tractor, when he finishes with it, he wipe it down, he clean it down, he holds it down, he makes sure that the tractor looks new, like he did when he bought it. And that's how he do all his tools. He does all his tools like that. So I got to pick up some tips from him, because I like the way he does that. And my tractor, I think I've washed it twice since I've owned it. Had it about 12 years maybe. And and I always said I wanted to put a nice shine on it with the same wax that I use on my car, just for the hell of it, to see what it would look like. And the tractor runs good, but I'm gonna give it a tune up. I'm gonna change the fuel filter, the air filter, spark plug. Spark plug hasn't been changed because it's kind of difficult to get to, but I'm gonna get to it because it needs to come out of there. Because but you can crank it up and run it, but sometimes you shift it in gear, it'll blah, 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 and die down on you. So I said, okay, what is going on here? I said the air filters could be decent, but make sure the spark plug is keeping the spark. Make sure the fuel is being delivered, et cetera, et cetera. The oil is always changed on all my machines. Now, one thing I'm good about is changing the oil on all of my machines, because they're way too expensive to be replacing these machines. And you know what I do? My tractor uses the same oil my car uses. My tractor uses the same oil my car uses, identical. 1040, 1030 is the same oil that my car uses. So, and I always buy a very good brand of oil. Very good brand of oil, Walmart. Yes, look at the label on the back. If you don't believe me, look at the label on the back and compare them with high dollar standard oil, like say not a Quick Estate, but GT. What's that GT? I can't think of the name of it right now. Oh wait, we got Food Files. Hello, Food Files. Got a great day. And I got my camera sitting in the way of all of you that type things, because the only way I can get the camera, to act halfway decent. Yes. Okay, I get some of you talking back and forth with each other. That is great. That is great. Everyone here, I'm glad that you stopped by and everything. This is the Morning Gardener Show, and it is. I'm just excited because I'm getting everything done, but it's a lot to do because it's a pretty good sized garden. And when I get off work, I'm pretty much beat up. But I say, do what you can. You got a lot of you know how you got 60 tomato plants. I went overboard with tomato plants, by the way. They're beautiful plants, though. They're thick and burly, but there's about 60 of them. And in actuality, I probably need only about 15 tomato plants. So I made sure that if any of them die or cat dig one up or whatever, I got replacements. That's what I did. Now, what will happen this year? The tomatoes will definitely be seed saving is at the top of the list. Just because you get your food this year, do not forget about that. Those seeds that you're growing, anything that's is heirloom, and some people are actually going to try to actually going to try to grow some of the fruit that has to deal with the you know what they call a hybrid, because you can actually create your own heirlooms in some cases. But I'm going to save seeds this year, more seeds this year, because I saw when the weeds took over my yard, and I went out there and cut everything back, and I got everything back under control. Lo and behold, some of you have seen the video I put out. Thousands of collard green, or definitely kale. You can see the way the leaves are shaped. All these are coming. They came back. I don't know how they did it, because first they were growing, the weeds covered them over, and so it must have killed those. And then another batch of them came up. Incredible. Because what was left there was a lot of seeds on the ground. Because I went out there to go and collect the seeds, and they'd already dropped them. And that's what happened. That's what happened in reality. Because you'd be working all the time, and it was like we've been 300 million people wishing Mother Earth a healthy day. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful food farmers permaculture. Mother Earth, Mother Earth. This is, by the way, is a man that's also a chef, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion. I worked in quite a few restaurants, and when I see him put some of this stuff together, I'll be saying, look at that. He used a nice of those what they call them. Uh, God, it's white, it's seafood. Um, God, you can find them in Chinese food. They fry them. They put them in stews and that sort of thing. Scallops. I love scallops, but he get those big ones. And I seen the big ones at Walmart. They cost an arm and a leg at Walmart. Today I'm doing me a little bit of shrimp, and I'm doing also some pork chops. That's a weird combination, isn't it? Shrimps and pork chops. Now, I want to officially say this before it gets any lower. There's 20 people in this room right now. We have broken a record, folks. Yes, we did. Right here at the Morning Gardening Show, the family that keeps on gardening. Yeah. And I'm saying that it's a wonderful deal. Take care of your tools. Everything's gone up, folks. Everything's gone up. I saw some sales at what they call that place called Stark Brothers online. I'm not advertising for them. Uh, oh, scallops. Yeah, with a scallop and potatoes. Yep, that's what it was. Scallops with potatoes. And speaking of potatoes, I have some potatoes out there growing now, and I'm gonna save some seed potatoes from them, because I had the potatoes that I put in these containers, fed them a lot of bone meal, organic fertilizer. They do not want for anything to eat. They haven't come up yet. I think maybe they have, but I'm just waiting, because they're going to do a good job. They're going to do a good job. Fertilizers are expensive, 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 and you have to find new options to do what you got to do, folks. You can't keep going there and spending all of your money on gardening. It just doesn't make any sense to do that. The tools, they got the new flashy things you can buy for your garden, and they want you to buy it, and you buy it, and it's like gardening is still gardening, no matter how much you spend on it. One guy might spend a few dollars a year and outgrow you every year, and another person may spend a few hundred or even 1,000 and get minimum production. It depends on if you know what you're doing. And when you save your seeds, you're getting seeds that are familiar with your process. They're familiar with your soil. The soil is part of their genetics. And so when you put them back in next year, they do pretty good. Yeah, that's how they do. Mr. Price, hello, how you doing? Greetings to all, he said. Man comes in the room and speak to everybody. That's one thing he does. Everyone's in the room. That is so beautiful. Look at these people. And they're their family. They're in here. I mean, we're just in here having a conversation. That's what we're doing. I have conversation with everybody all the time. You want to see me get excited? Have somebody at work say, "Hey, I've seen your show." I said, "You have?" And you know, and they're saying, "I appreciate your show. I like what you put on." And they are growing food as well. It was a gentleman today. He showed me pictures of his garden. And I thought that was really great. He had a very decorative layout and everything. But he has to go to work, so I can't really engage him in conversation about gardening. I could actually help with some things that I see, and I say, well, he's got to go to work. But I don't want anybody to feel discouraged when they get, certain results. But I'm telling you, the key of everything is pay attention to your garden. Spoon feed your garden is very, very important. Don't dump large amounts of fertilizer on your items. Don't do that. Just add whatever the direction says. Oh, wait, I don't have any fertilizer up here with me. The only thing I have up here with me, let me see what I got here. This is my own homemade stuff. You know what that is. This is heavy. This is eggshells. Somebody already knew that. Yeah, probably. I thought somebody already typed that up there. This is eggshells, about 2 pounds of eggshells. And I have some more from the eggs that I finished with, and I keep grinding them up in the what they call it, not the food processor, but also the blender. I have a blender that's for my garden and a blender for my other use. This right here is some good use. Eggshells. And what I do with the eggshells is I collect them, put them in there, put the lid on, and when you open the lid up, don't hold your head over the item, because what you're going to do is all that dust will come up in your face. You don't want to be breathing something that you don't know what type of effect it may have on you. So eggs, sprinkle that into your garden. Sprinkle this into your garden. I mean, use this stuff. But when you see, if you're using a fertilizer and someone says, use this liquid, what they call a fish emulsion. Let's say fish emulsion, for instance. Fish emulsion is really gentle type of fertilizer. I mean, you can use it at full strength. I usually just cut it in half. I cut it in half and I use it. If it says 1 tablespoon for every gallon of water, it gets half of that. Especially if I'm doing seedlings, it gets half of that. So, and my seedlings have done incredible this year. I mean, absolutely incredible. They don't require for you to be dumping a bunch of food in there. Farmers once did that to their crops back in the day. They said, I want a certain turnout on these potatoes. I want certain turnout on these tomatoes. And they would dump large amounts of fertilizer in the ground, and whatever ran off the streams, and it caused all kind of pollution, that sort of thing. When they learned later in their career or their quest to grow more for their garden, is that the farmers that were using less fertilizer, in many cases, were growing larger crops. Because it's not about how much you're putting down, it's the spoon feeding, the constant attention to fertilizer, constant attention to a regimen, if you will, of fertilizer to give to your plants, and they do better, as opposed to dumping it all in at one time and then had a rain, wash it out when it have a good rain. And when it washes it out, you just wasted money. You wasted money. Money is gone out of your pocket, in the ground, underground streams, or washed down to a nearby stream and gone out into the create pollution for the fish. And that's how it rolls. Don't do that to yourself. If you got a fertilizer that says 1 tablespoon, half a tablespoon. If it says, you want to put it in every 2 weeks, put it in every week and a half, every week. Go down there and just gently go over your plants and watch them perk up as you put the fertilizer on. But half strength is better. You're just going to do a better job at caring for your plants. Well, I guess that's it for today. Wait a minute. What somebody got there? Mr. Price, I use 10-10-10. Well, I use it add coffee grounds, banana peels, and eggshells. Nothing at all wrong with that. Now, everything that you added in here, 10-10-10. Now, only thing I would add to what you're doing here, you got the 10-10-10. That's what you call a balanced fertilizer, folks. For those who and it takes a while for that to get into the soil, get into the plant. You could also add to that. You could add a fish emulsion that you could do once a week to what you're doing now already. Because when you eggshells, coffee grounds, 10-10-10, you could do that like once a month, and then you could also take the liquid feed, which could be like I was saying earlier, it could be fish emulsion, or it could be seaweed, but you could use it. You could use that like once a week, and keep your plants fed. What you're trying to do with your plants, and I want you to write this down, folks, because it's going to be very, very crucial to the whole thing we're getting at here. You want your plants to not suffer any kind of stress, and that's when your plants will do better. No kind of stress, no overheated soil, no overwatering, no over fertilizing. You want your plants to be in a comfortable environment where they can survive and be comfortable and simply eat and be relaxed and do their thing. That's how you grow big tomatoes. That's how you grow more produce, is when they get what they want and they never ever stressing out over the fact that they sitting there going, I'm hungry. I don't know what my food supply is. Why is he giving me, like if you give him 10-10-10, banana peels, coffee grounds, all of that is great. But it takes time for that to break down. You know what I'm saying? It takes time. But if you use that, put that in there, and then you feed them with a liquid fertilizer once a week, this will be breaking down. It'll be suitable for the plants to get eventually. But the fish emulsion is direct. It goes right to the plant, immediate reaction, and your plant eats. And then when it comes time, while the soil biology is being improved, what you're doing here with the coffee ground and banana peels, the ground will improve. That's improving your soil and also the biology in the soil. So that's what you want to do. However, use both methods, Mr. Price, and you will look back and say, I like what he said, because it's helping me. But the fish emulsion, 1 teaspoon per gallon of water. And that's how you want to do it. All right, good people. This has been the Morning Gardener Show. I know y'all getting tired of hearing from me here. You are too sandy to be self-serve. I can't really see around all this stuff here. Okay. I don't know why I set that camera there, but anyway. Free temporary raspberry, raised beds, free Craigslist. Let's see, entertaining. Oh, thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you. And I got 12 thumbs up here. I got 19 people in the room watching. I really do appreciate that. Remember, this show, if you haven't subscribed to the show, subscribe. And that way, when I come on again, you'll get a notification. And also, you want to try to check me out as well on Wednesday at 6 p.m. So my show comes on Mondays at 6 p.m. and also Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to taste the potatoes that I'm growing, because my last experience with the potatoes I grew is I baked them and they were creamy inside. They were creamy. They were far superior than the potatoes you get from the store. VA grower. VA growing, excuse me. Okay, let me see around that thing there. I love free I love free in the garden. I love free in the garden. Okay. And so, oh, and if you got a source where you can get to supplies such as Mr. Price has like the coffee grounds, get that stuff. Get that stuff. Get it. It's number organic matter. You get it. I would like to find me a spot where I could get it and just load up the trunk of the car with it. That's how I would be on that time. They would know when I'm coming. I'm coming to get trash bags full of it. I don't just want a couple packs of it. I want trash bags full, and that way I don't have to keep buying stuff like my supplies are basic with peat moss and that sort of thing. It's basic. Let's see. Right. Growing coffee. Yeah, because I got to tell you, the what we call it, the ginger. It looks great. It's growing. I'm looking at it really slow right now because the weather keeps going up and down. But I feel pretty good about the fact that it's going to be more ginger growing. I'm going to do good on my potatoes because, like I said, I've been feeding and staying on top of everything, and it's just been a wonderful deal. So make sure that you do that. The same thing, folks. Use some of the tips I'm giving you because it'll help you in the long run. Remember, reduce some of the fertilizer to half strength. It really works better. Also, stay on top of your fertilization. Come up with a regimen. At certain times of the year, you want to give it more nitrogen when you're trying to grow the plant out and get it some size up on it. And then you want to switch it over to phosphorus and potassium based fertilizer so that you can have the plant focus more on root growth and also blooms, like tomatoes, for instance, squash, that sort of thing. And then just let the plant just grow out. But go out onto the property daily and look at the plants, see what they need. Look at their leaves. If they're not bright, pretty green, and they're yellowing and that sort of thing, it's telling you the plant needs something. So keep an eye on that. All right, folks, this has been the Morning Garden Show. I hope you enjoyed yourself and got some information that you can use. I hope you have, because I would hate to think that every Monday at 6 p.m. and also every Wednesday at 6 p.m. that I am up here just wasting your time. Family, I don't want to do that to you. I see a lot of shows that sometimes they do the best they can, and they will talk and talk and talk. But I want to give people stuff that can help them, so they can actually see results. I have tons of plants growing downstairs. They're for flowers. Never did flowers before. Never did flowers before. But they all of them germinated. Every last one of them germinated, and they popped out and they're ready to do their deal. And I'm so happy about that because they're all sunflowers, and some of them are marigolds, and another one that's something snowball yellow, some kind of plant, and they're all doing well. So they're going to be used because I want to put something around on my property that's decorative. And also, when they grow out, I will be collecting the seeds. The seeds. I'm not going to keep buying these expensive sunflower seeds every year. I am going to reap the rewards. I know the birds like to eat them, and what's the other thing? The squirrels like to eat the seeds. So when this happens, I'm going to be able to save some of my seeds. Let's see. Best fertilizer is the. Uh, I think I wonder. Let's see. Look up. Okay, will do. I will definitely look that up. And I got to tell you, you should see what I did. I should have brought. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll shoot a little quick video of it sometime tonight, and I'll put it up, and you'll see what I did with my plants. I mean, with my. I keep saying plants. What I did with my flowers, because I've seen people go to the store and pay good money for marigolds, and they are so freaking easy to grow. You put them on a heat mat. You set the heat mat at about 75, 80 degrees. You cover it over. And if you use my technique, they'll come up in 3 days. If you use another technique, it might take a little longer. But these came up, and they did very well. So I want you to do me a favor, folks. Do your best. Grow some sweet tomatoes. Please put some fruits and vegetables up on the camera one day. Let me see you doing like that. Say, look at that, Morning Gardener. I told you, we're family. This has been the Morning Gardener. Thank you very much, folks, and have a great day. And remember, keep on growing. Thank you.